how do I get this vibrational reality to be the kind of reality that I really want, the tangible one, the one that I feel like I've come here to live? And we say, it's much simpler than you think. You just have to become, even though you're not in the vortex, you have to become closer and closer and closer to what is in it. You have to believe rather than doubt. You have to feel exhilaration rather than sadness. You have to love rather than hate. You have to be a vibrational match to what's in it and who's in it. You have to be a vibrational match to the source energy who is there, you see. And so now, rather than asking you to get into the vortex, which seemed to stretch your mind further than you were able, we're now saying to you, become a vibrational match to what's in there, and what's in there will come out where you are. How do I turn the thoughts and the vibrations and the energy of the vortex into the physical equivalent? Well, you just line up with it. What we mean by that is, let's say you want $100,000 and you want it now, or make it 200,000 or 300,000 or 1,000,000 or whatever it is that you want. Choose it. It's yours. If we were standing in your shoes, we would choose big. You don't choose big, because the bigger it is, the more you doubt it, which is just foolish. Given what we've just told you, it doesn't matter how big it is. If you believe it, it will be. It is as easy to create a castle as a button. It's just a matter of wanting it and not blocking it with doubtful thoughts. And the reason that you think buttons are easier is because you don't doubt the buttons. You don't push against the button thoughts so much. You look around, there's buttons everywhere, buttons everywhere. Everybody's got a button. There's buttons everywhere. There's boxes of buttons, buttons on the floor, buttons, buttons everywhere, buttons, buttons, buttons. I don't doubt buttons. I know I can have buttons. I just don't want buttons anymore. I don't really want any buttons. I want a fortune. I want a fortune. I want a castle. I want magnificent things. Well, it is as easy to create magnificent things as the things that you deem insignificant. But what you must do in either case is not doubt them. So if you don't doubt the insignificant things, they come easily. But the significant things, you say, oh, I have this issue. I have this issue that I want to talk about. And we usually say to you, that's the last thing that we are going to make any progress on, because since it's your issue, it means you've practiced vibrations against it, which means it is not likely, even though we offer perfect words and give you exact answers to every question every time, no matter what, you can't hear them if you're not in the vibrational vicinity of them, you see. So let's say you want $100,000 and you want it, need it, want it, need it. You want it, and you want it to come quickly. And your logic tells you it's probably not going to come today. In fact, your logic might tell you it's probably not going to come this week or this month or even this year, because your logic is coming from what you've experienced before. And it's hard for you to let go of what has been and expect something new and different. So we're wanting you to, instead of needing the money in order to be happy, and we know you would be, because it's easy to have a conditional response to good news, isn't it? Your banker calls you, got good news. $100,000 was deposited in your account today. And your feeling response would be, this is a very good thing. You might even jump up and down a little bit. Your enthusiasm would be easy to observe. But when we tell you that there is $100,000 and more in your vortex, you don't jump up and down, even though it is as real, because you want to translate it with your physical senses. We want you to translate it emotionally. So this is a very important key. If you can accept that all that you want is in your vortex, and you can reach for the feeling place of it, what does the money mean? The 100,000 or the million or more? What does it mean? What would it mean to you in feeling terms? What would that mean? Would it mean stability? Would it? Come out and play with us. Would it mean stability? And what does stability feel like? Stability feels like freedom, like ease. It feels like fun. But stability is one thing, fun is another thing, freedom is another thing. So let's just explore all of them. Stability feels like confidence, feels like sureness. It feels like steady, doesn't it? And freedom feels like exhilaration. It feels like free flowing. It feels like, give us words for freedom. What does freedom feel like? Freedom, choices, no boundaries is what the absence of freedom doesn't feel like. When you say it feels like no boundaries, or feels like freedom from bondage, that's not really getting the vibrational essence of it. But when you say freedom feels like, maybe there aren't even any words, but can you find the feeling of freedom? So you wake up, you've got all this money. What's the first thing that comes to your mind under those conditions? Choices. Choices to do what? Choices to do what? Choices to please yourself. Yes? Choices to be what you want to be and do what you want to do and go where you want to go and have what you want to have. That freedom to be, that freedom that you are born being, that freedom that you innately are, that freedom that your inner being is, standing in the middle of your vortex, gathering all of the cooperative components that will flesh out to evidence that feeling of freedom to you. So now we've done a pretty good job of feeling what freedom feels like. And so for a while you are floating around in the vicinity or inside your vortex. You are in the receptive mode of it. And if you maintain that, then you know what happens with the thoughts that have already turned, those energies and vibrations that have already turned to those thoughts that you just spoke to us. You already began the creative process. You already started turning those vibrations to thoughts and those thoughts to things, just with this conversation that we've just had. By the time you are shouting out the feeling of freedom, and you have captured the vibrational essence of what that means to you, can you feel the momentum of what you've got going on? And the next thing that's going to happen is you're going to get a thought about something. A thought or an impulse, they're the same thing. In other words, a feeling, a strong feeling, an urge to do something, because those thoughts are going to continue to turn to things. And you know what else? The cooperative components that your inner being has already gathered, that law of attraction has gathered, that are there with your inner being, all those people that you're looking for who will dovetail and help you along the way to what you want, they are lining up out there in your, what you want to call future experience. We want to call it your now experience. They're lining up for your discovery, for your realization, for your witnessing of them. Once you let yourself feel the essence of what you're asking for, and let's just face it, you got to feel the essence of it, because you can't translate it into the reality of it yet, can you? Isn't it an essence while it's still a thought? But if you can capture within yourself the feeling of the essence of it, so that you're not feeling the lack of it because you've got the essence of it. You're now no longer feeling the absence of that money because you've got the essence of the money. You can't feel the absence of the money and the essence of the money at the same time. And if you practice that, if the essence of that money is yours, if the essence of that freedom is yours, if that's what you are broadcasting and that's what's coming back to you, oh, the power of what you have accomplished will demonstrate it to yourself over and over and over and over and over again. Abundance of all nature. Good timing will be your experience. Parking places opening for you. People who are accommodating and helpful and nice will be there. Things that you've been looking for, things that you've even forgotten that you want, will begin showing up in your experience. Handed to you over and over and over and over and over again as you stand there feeling, maybe for the first time in a long time, more blessed than you've ever felt, because it feels to you, because it is true, the entire universe is assisting you in actualizing what you have put already into your vortex. Oh, so fun to be in your physical shoes. So fun to be a physical manifester. So fun to turn those thoughts to things. So fun to be the witnesser of the creative genius that is you. There is nothing that you are incapable of being or doing or having. It's just a matter of you deciding. And we want you to rest with that word for a moment. Because sometimes you use the word decision incorrectly, because you think you've decided before you have found the vibrational essence of it, and you haven't. Often you are decided against the very thing that your vortex is full of. So a decision is wanting it and believing it. Until you are decisive until you are wanting and knowing, wanting and trusting, wanting and believing, then you're not going to be the receiver of it. It'll zig and you'll zag. In other words, so many near misses all day, every day. You should see it from our vantage point. It is fun to watch. It's fun to watch as you are honing in on what you want. There it went again. 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 Bingo. And then you say, oh, that was lucky.